Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 1st of December, comes to you from London. And you might be asking, why am I holding a cricket ball? And I want to show you, you think, what has a cricket ball got to do with markets? I want to show you when we get into this. So we start, I really want to look at India today. Great cricketing nation it is. And basically, I want to talk about how the thrust targets on the point and figure charts work. I've had so many people asking me how do the targets work, so here is an explanation. We will look at the markets and the energy mix at the end of the video, but I want to start with India. And India is the market that is making new all-time highs. As technical analysts, of course, we love new all-time highs. And that basically tells us the bulls are in control. And we've got these upside targets on the 1% chart. It is good to use percentage log scale charts because you're comparing like with like, and it deals with the fact that you might have had big rises or over a long period. And we've got upside targets on the Sensex here, and I will talk about those targets. India is the best looking market. Japan is actually looking pretty good. It's above the cloud on all three time frames. Remember, the clouds in my book, the Cloud Charts book, if you want to understand the clouds, that's where you'll find them. And there is also a chapter on point and figure in this book. So if you really want to understand how the targets work, that's the place to go. So Japan's looking pretty good. Even the UK market is looking pretty good. The FTSE is above the cloud on all three time frames. So that's looking pretty good. And also even Australia is not looking too bad, just getting back above the cloud there, double bottom making highs. And again, we've got targets, but not as clear as India. So if you can run, of course, I'm running here on Refinitiv Icon. You could be running on Metastock, which is the same thing really as Refinitiv Icon for private users. A lot of users in India run on Metastock, or you could run on True Data, or if you don't have a data source, you can run on Yahoo. So I'm looking at Yahoo data here. You don't get the intraday data, but this is weekly charts, daily charts, and the point and figure targets. So you get all that with Yahoo. So I'm asking myself, if I look at these targets, and this data coming in from Yahoo, if I look at these targets, I've got upside targets to 81,000, 89,000, and 101,000. So 28% higher, 41% higher, and 59% higher. But let's just deal with the 28%, because the one thing we can say is that the market is going to hit 8,000 before it hits 100,000. So 80,000 before it hits 100,000. So the key thing here is I want to now look at the stocks, and you can do this. You can download a trial of Updata. You can run it straight away on Yahoo. You can run it on lots of different data services in India, True Data, and really you can run Updata Lite for as little as £9. It's really cheap. So download a trial and just do this exercise, and you can download these screens ready-made for you, and here I'm looking at the Sensex. I could look at the Nifty 50. It doesn't really matter which, and of course you could do this on any market, so you can just download and run through the list. Of course, the beauty of the Sensex is it is making new highs. So I'm looking now for the stocks that have got better than 28% targets. So I'm just literally going to go through them one by one. Now, as I said, people ask me how the targets work. So let's just take a look at that. And basically, it's all about thrust. And here's the cricket ball. So basically, it's this first move. And with point and figure, let's say it's 1%. You have to keep moving up without retracing 3%. So it's asymmetric with the trend. Every 1% move in the direction of the trend, it's only when you get the pullback. And the pullback is 3 boxes or more. And then the most important thing is you rise above the level where the sellers came in last time, and you need to go another 1 box, 1% in this case, higher to activate the target. So it's not just a little bit above this resistance level, you've got to go full 1% above. And that then sets you up for the target, and that's the resultant thrust. And it's 2 times the initial thrust. So if this initial thrust is big, then the target will be big, and that's where the cricket ball comes in. So if you imagine, and if you're American, by the way, think about a baseball. Not quite as heavy, not quite as big, but if you imagine, if I want to throw this ball, I'm on the boundary of the cricket pitch, and I want to throw this ball to the wicket keeper. If I pull my arm here, it's not going to make it. It's not going to go far enough. And so that's the key thing. It's not going to go far enough. But if I pull my arm all the way back here and maybe a bit lower and really put a lot more effort into it, then it's going to make it to the wicket keeper. And that's the concept of the thrust. And that's why I'm demonstrating it with a cricket ball. So the key thing is that initial thrust is really what sets us up for the target. So what we're looking for is big thrusts off lows. And the other thing, of course, is thinking about your time horizon. Daily charts, we're thinking on the clouds, we're thinking weeks ahead, and on weekly charts, we're thinking months ahead. And if you want 60-minute charts, you'll need a service like Metastock where you can actually get the intraday data. But this weeks and months, days means weeks, weeks means months. And those of you who've done my training courses know all about that, of course. So all we have to do is just go through and find the stocks that are basically have got bigger targets. And you can do that, and you can just look for the stocks. And notice I want also to have stocks that are above the cloud. So here's a classic one, Bharati Infratel up 38% is the target, bullish above the cloud. That's all you have to do to find those stocks. So let's look at markets in general. But I wanted to show that because I've got a lot of people asking me about how the targets work. And of course, the Indian market, because it's making new highs, it's a great place to be looking for those stocks. So we see that the dollar is a little bit lower, but the reality is we're waiting for this break of 105 on the dollar, and that's going to be really very significant indeed, and potentially building a little bit of a head and shoulders. Another thing great here is you see the line chart just shows you that. We're seeing a bit of red on the screen. The S&P 500 was up 3% yesterday, so that's quite a big move, but we are seeing the futures down a little bit this morning, and so markets are just starting to show some red on the screen. Markets in the US rising on the feeling that the Fed is now not going to raise rates as quickly. Gold is sitting at 1778, tantalizingly on that previous high. Here at the targets again. So that's really quite interesting. We're just seeing gold now just starting to make signs of that lower high, higher low, and then a higher high. If we get through 1800 on gold, that will be very good indeed. So really key there that we're seeing that change. And that's what we're always looking for when I do charts today, is what's really changed. So that's a standout today. And silver has been looking pretty strong too, and has actually nudged higher. We see that there on the daily chart. Did yesterday just nudge higher. So just struggling at this resistance level at the moment at around $22. So but if silver can hold that level, and we've got upside targets activated here, these recovery targets are looking pretty good. Now, looking at the energy mix, we were bullish on everything in energy yesterday, and everything was going up. But today, we're neutral on crude oil. It's down 1/3%. So we are just seeing a pause here. This is the 1 minute charts. This is my daily and my 60-minute, my long, medium term and short term, and then the daily 60-minute and 1 minute. So this is what I use to really want to know what's going on right now. So that's also really key. And the other big story is emissions. Emissions really rocketing. Remember, 75 was a real issue for emissions. Well, we're now at 86, 80. So we've really rocketed, meeting those upside targets. See how the target's been met. So you really can't ignore these targets. And that's, if you're trading carbon, that's what you want to be looking at. And remember, this thrust, that's the cricket ball. That's the cricket ball. Last of all, we're just looking at gas prices. They're up again strongly this morning. We remained bullish here, waiting for the targets to kick in on gas. That was going to be quite key. But we are seeing here that gas prices are higher, and NBP is up 5%. So again, and we've been talking about the bottom for gas prices for some time. And German power just knocking on the door on the Cal 23, knocking on the door of 400. We have been above there this morning, and we're now now starting to look to Cal 24 as we're in December and really just waiting for that breakout. That's going to be quite key. That's it for today. Remember the cricket ball. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.